everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm here doing a little bit of scrapbooking for myself, working with the brand new Tropical Garden collection from Creative Memories. As you can see, I've been working with this a fair bit, and I had an idea for a layout today, and I thought, you know what, let's flick on the camera so I can share it with all of you as well. I've already printed my summary themed photos, and I'm also going to be working with some cut files that I've already cut. You can see that I've got a flamingo, and then I'm going to have some layered flowers as well. Now, I know not everybody works with cut files, and that's okay. You can still, you know, the basis for my layout today, you can still scrap for yourselves as well. But for those of you who do like to use cut files, I got these designs through the Silhouette Design Store, and I will try and link the individual items below this video. I'm pretty sure you could find similar with Cricut Design Space as well. If you're a Cricut user. I have a Silhouette Cameo, and I also work with a Cricut Joy, and they're two very different machines. Software is very different. I can't fault either of them. I love both machines. I use them for, you know, different reasons. The Cricut Joy is great for creating titles, and it's compact, and you can take it places with you because of that, and for smaller cuts. Whereas my Silhouette, I love it that I can just put all of the different coloured papers or cardstock that I want to work with on the one mat, and I can just do one cut for everything, and it makes it super quick. Now I'm going to go ahead and layer all of these pieces together. There's layered flowers as well as my flamingo. I won't do that on camera because it will take up a little bit of time. But once I've got everything together, I'll come back and we can get started on preparing our layout. Okay, so here we have the finished result. You can see I've got this super cute flamingo, and I've just added some of the Tropical Garden flowers to its neck there. I've created some little layered tropical flowers, and I couldn't resist. I also went back and created a fun little title, Tropic Like It's Hot. So we'll get started on our layout. I found with the Tropical Garden collection, there are indeed two paper packs. You've got the regular designer paper pack, and then you've got a tone-on-tone paper pack. I have found myself, I've preferred the tone-on-tone paper pack. That's just me. Everybody has different tastes, so that's what I'm working with today. Elements from the tone-on-tone paper pack. This would be one of my most favourite papers. You've got all of the tropical leaves, palm leaves on one side, and then you've got a really bright pink polka dot on the back. So I've got a few extra papers as well, but to start with, I've got a 12 by 12 sheet of bright white cardstock. That's going to act as our base, and then I'm just going to cut down some lengths of this aqua paper. So first of all, I'll bring in my 12-inch trimmer, and I'm just going to cut two strips to measure 1/2 inch by 12 inch, and these are going to go down the sides of my layout. Okay. Next, I'm going to bring in one of the custom cutting system border cutting tools. If you saw my last video, you saw me create with these, and I told you how much I love them, and that is still very much the case. And I'm going to be working with this design here. It's sort of got that peak in the middle. But what I'm going to do is just attach that to my cutting mat. I'm making sure that I've still lined up the remainder of that paper square on my page. And I'm going to measure down roughly 2 inches. So 2 inches down, and I'll bring in my red blade and I'll cut across that. So this is going to sit across the top of our layout. I'll just hook in my blade. and cut across like so. And then because we've already got this wavy edge in, I'm going to bring back my 12-inch trimmer. I'll just close that off so I don't cut myself. I'll bring back the 12-inch trimmer and I'm going to cut just a smaller border for the base of the layout. And I'm lining up the highest point of this decorative edge to about 1.5 inches. Okay, so that's been and cut the base of that border strip. So that's all I'm going to use that for now, and I can bring back in my bright white cardstock and we can get everything into place. Now I did say I want to work with the aqua side of this paper, but I do have, of course, the option of flipping that over and having the bright pink on the outside. So let's just see what that looks like first, because we have got a lot of pinks going on already with our tidal and our flamingo. But we can just layer that over the top like so. And we can place this one across the base. And then I'm thinking I was going to add my little flamingo to the side here. And our tidal somewhere, followed by some of our little tropical flowers somehow. That's the idea for my page. And then I've got 4 photos to work with on my design. But I think, not sure whether to have the hot pink or I go the aqua. What do you guys think? No, I think I'm going to go with the hot pink. Okay, so we'll get those stuck down into place. So we'll do the thinner vertical strips first. Let's bring in my silicone mat there so I don't get adhesive on anything. And I'm just using a little bit of repositionable tape. So if I want to move anything around that I can. So there's one vertical strip. Here's our second. And then we can add the base and the top strip to our page. So that's a very simple background to prepare for this layout. You won't find that difficult at all. Back with the old company, the original Creative Memories company, and this is going back, I'm talking 25 years ago when I first started working with these products. You used to be able to buy pre-cut border strips and they were all out of cardstock. I don't know if any of you out there are original consultants with the original Creative Memories company, because it's a very different company now, but we used to be able to buy all these pre-cut borders for your layouts. I used to love them. So now we have the option of using these fabulous tools and cutting from whatever papers we like. So now I just need to decide how I want to work with these photos, and I do feel as though I want to add a little bit more to these borders. So I'm grabbing a Border Maker cartridge out of my stash. I think this one will work really well. Its name escapes me, by the way. I'm fully prepared for today's video. As you can see, this is a very casual scrap along today. I know there are heaps of you out there that are straight away going to be able to tell me what that is off the top of your head. So I want to add a pop of colour. So I'm going to pull out some yellow paper because I didn't quite have enough. That's all I've got left of this yellow polka dot paper from the Tone on Tone paper pack. So this is from the second paper pack. It's still a lovely yellow. It has that beautiful floral on the back. And if I bring in my Border Maker system, I can hook in my cartridge and we can punch 2 lengths from this paper So I'll just insert that into the arm bracket there, and we can punch all the way along. Now this, of course, does not remove the border from the paper, so we're going to have to come in with our 12-inch trimmer and cut that away. Let's get rid of all of this confetti. And my 12-inch trimmer is hiding over here, so I'm just going to line that up in my 12-inch trimmer and just cut that away from the main paper. I've given it probably about, I don't know, 1/4 of an inch distance there at the base, but we'll be able to add that fabulous border to our page. I'm just going to repeat that because I want one at the base as well. Like so, and we can punch all the way along. Now you can use any border maker cartridge you like. Don't have to use the same as what I've used, or you can use a border punch if you prefer. Does not matter. This is just what I'm choosing to work with today. Now I'm just going to have a little experiment here. You can see we've got this little half circle cut out section on these borders, and I'm just wondering, I've got my Creative Memories circle punch here. Creative Memories put a lot of thought into all of their product development, and I'm thinking that this circle will fit behind there perfectly, and yes it does. So I'm thinking I'm going to add just a soft pink colour to the back of these borders. So we can cut one circle in half, so that means I need 1, 2, 3 circles per border. They're very good at just making sure everything works and coordinates. I love that. And I love this circle punch. I use my circle punch so much. I know we have our custom cutting system circle templates that you can use, but this circle punch, I just love it. It's just quick, it's handy, you can always have it on your desk. So what we'll do, I'll just move that background out of the way again. I'm going to bring these circles together. I reckon I can put about 3 together. I'll keep the pattern of the paper all going the same way, and I'll bring in my scissors and I'm just going to cut them in half. I'll do the same with these guys, so just keep the pattern the same direction and we can cut those in half like so. Okay, so if we flip over our border onto our silicone mat there, we can add some adhesive. We might have a little bit of overhang of those circles, but that's okay. We can cut that away. But I can come in now with these circles and stick them perfectly along the back of this border. And it's just going to soften the tone of that, because it is a very bright yellow, but I mean, that makes me think of summer, bright and happy, bright colours. Just going to make my way along until they're all stuck down. I've got a little bit of overhang there. It's probably more that I didn't cut them in half very neatly. So I'll just flip that back over, and just with my scissors, I can cut off that little bit of overhang. There we go, and it just fills in nicely behind that border with that soft pink. So I'm going to go ahead and just do the exact same thing to the second piece here. Okay, so I've got both borders backed, and now I can add these to my layout. You could use foam squares on the back of this border if you wanted to, and that'd give your page a lovely dimension. which I think I will do. I mean, I know it's going to use quite a few of my little squares, but I just love the effect that the foam squares will give, lifting that border out from the page. So I can add those, just one. That's the second largest size foam square. You get a great, with the foam squares from Creative Memories, you get a great variety of sizes, which I love. And you can also cut them to shape if you need to. But I'm going to stick this about 1/4 inch down from that top. So I'm just turning that sideways so I don't headbutt the camera. Leaning over that, I want to make sure that I get it perfectly straight. So that's the top one, and then I'm really loving how that's coming together. We can add some more to the back. The funny thing is, I wasn't going to use this border maker cartridge for my layout today. I was going to use the new BMC that released with the Tropical Garden Collection, and that was this one, the Tropical Flowers Chain BMC. But I think I like this one better for this layout, so we'll go with this one. But that Tropical Flower BMC, it's gorgeous as well, but you can use whatever you like. Okay, so there's our borders in place. They sort of look like little half suns, don't they? Tropical sun. I'm going to add my little tropical flamingo to the side here, and now I just need to work in my photos to the layout, and they've sort of been taken, these photos have sort of been taken from a bit of a distance, so I have got a lot of blue around them, so I am okay with cutting them down a little bit, but it's just knowing what size to do of them. I've sort of got two fairly similar there, but one's further away. But I could put, let's see, I could put this one at the top here, and then I can cut these two down to have below. And I'm kind of half thinking there's already so much colour going on in this layout, and I'm not even sure if I'm going to worry about using photo mats for my photos. So if this is a 6x4 photo, I might just cut that down a little bit. I've got my trimmer here. So let's say we cut this down to 5 inches wide, and then we can cut it down to say 3.5. So I'll cut a little bit from the bottom. We'll see how that's looking. Yeah, we can cut that last little bit from the base to bring it down to 3.5. So I've cut that one down to 5 by 3.5. And as I said, I'm just removing, you know, we had so much blue water behind that image. So that's 5 by 3.5. And then I think I'm going to use these photos. And I'm actually wondering whether or not, let me get my photo trimming grids and just check size-wise of what I want to cut these down to. I use these a lot. It's a great way of, you know, seeing how small you can take your photos. So I've got a 3.5 by 3.5, and that's a really good size actually. 3.5 by 3.5 works for that photo. It's going to work with that photo as well. Can we be cheeky and take it even smaller to 3 by 3? And it does work. But I think I'm going to stick with 3.5 by 3.5. Now you can just position these over your photo and just use your scissors to, you know, trim away. Or you can just sort of snip them a little bit and then pop them in your trimmer, which is what I'm going to do because I don't trust my scissor skills. I think I would still cut it quite crooked, so I'm actually just going to get a starter point there for my photo, and then I'll be able to just come in with my photo trimmer to cut that down. So I can line that up now. So cut away the top length. If I cut that side where I've already made the little snip, I can easily square that up now. And I've been able to cut my photo so that it's centered in that 3.5 by 3.5 size. So yeah, these photo trimming cards, I'm not even sure if these are still available at the moment, but these have been really handy. I've had mine for quite some time. Just going to do the same, just make sure I've got it centered. Okay, so now that my photos are cut, we can add our embellishments. I'm going to work our flamingo here to the side of the page and our flowers. Looking at my layout coming together, I think the title that I created with my silhouette is a little bit too big, and I just don't think it goes with the flow of my page. This quite often happens to me. I get a good idea and then I change my mind. But this won't be wasted. I will certainly use this for another layout. So I've got plenty of options with the tropical garden stickers, and I've also got all of the embellishments here as well. So I'll go ahead and I'll stick my photos down. And I'm going to add our flamingo to the right here, so I can get this stuck in place as well. I've used some foam squares on the wings of the flamingo just to give that bit of dimension, and I'm just making sure I don't want the tail to be overlapping the side border there, because it'll blend in that little bit being the same colour. And then we can add some of our flower embellishments that I created. And I think I'm going to layer in behind some of these beautiful stickers and leaves. They're so colourful. We can add, I might go over the top of my photo actually. We can add that one there. And I really love this bright pink hibiscus flower. And I'll add my flower with foam squares. Because I've used the repositionable tape, I can lift those legs up, but I just want to slide in this sticker in the underneath there. We can add another flower. Okay, so we just need to add a title to our page, and I'm thinking we've got tropical snapshots, and they can sit just above our flamingo there, and I think I will add these, stick that to my mat. I think I'll add these with foam squares as well. So just add the size that fits the sticker best so that you won't see it, of course. Tropical. And then we've got snapshots that we can place in underneath. Then we might just add a little flower floating there in behind our flamingo. That completes my layout for today. It's bright and it's fun, and I love the tropical theme that it has. I hope you've enjoyed seeing me create this layout today and working with the Tropical Garden Collection from Creative Memories, as well as those little cut file elements that I created as well. Thank you so much for being here, and I shall see you all again soon. Bye.